up, guys? It's your girl Maccouture with Maccouture Crafting with another Notions for Notions video. And this one is an important one. This is a big one, guys. I am going to introduce you guys to my real sewing pad. This is one of the first things that I made when I started sewing. I think there's a video, maybe a video of me making it. I have a cover that matches it. And again, one of my first sews. And I've been using it ever since. Now, I'd like to remake it. Because I'd like to change out the way that these pockets are. But you guys see this. You guys see it in all of my videos. It's right there when I sew. It stays under my sewing machine. It stays on top of my sewing pad. And it is my recipe for excellence. I travel with this. It is my probably most used notion in the sewing room, if you would consider this a notion. And I thought about cleaning it up for you guys and pretending that I keep it away other than I do, but for what? You guys, I am your quilty BFF. Let's be real. It is dirty. It is not cute. This is my first sew. You know me. I will tack down something in a minute, so I'm sure this is glued down as opposed to stitched down, and I do not care. I can see some of the glue right there. The join is funky. This guy works. This is a workhorse. It is my favorite. It's the make that I use 100% of the time. I use this every day that I sew. And I love what I keep in it. I would do a second deck of pockets if I were doing it again. And I am going to redo this one. And then I'm going to do one for all of my sewing machines because I need one at every single machine that I sew at. There's no way of getting around it. There's just, and I want to duplicate all the tools that are in here. So let's go on ahead and go through all the tools that I have in here. And I'm not trying to be cute or anything. It's just what it is. And this is the way that I keep it. So no judgment. Hopefully this is a judgment-free zone. Or maybe you'll take something away from here that you can use. I keep a few clips on the side. Sometimes they're on the bottom. I always need a clip. And so this is where they are. Cannot live without this tool. I can't. It's my tweezers. I have to have them. And in here should be the scissors that match. They stay right in here. There they are. I feel them. This is going to be weird me pulling them out. These two is a recipe for success. I have to have them. These, I think they're both, are they both the brand? I think the scissors are the off-brand, but these curved scissors here help me snip everything. I go through all my projects. I pull with the tweezers. I snip with the scissors. I snip. I use them every single project for sure. Both of these tools. This particular pen, I don't know, pencil. I don't know why, but I use it. I have to have this one. It's a big number 7 pencil. I have a whole box of them. I keep one at my desk in where my office, like where I work. And then I keep this one here in the sewing room. Have to have a pencil. Then I have a bunch of marking tools. Some that I use regularly, some that I don't. I use this Sew Line. It's my favorite chalk pencil. It's white. Use it constantly. This is an eraser that's supposed to erase it. Does it? I don't know that it really does, but I keep that in there too. I keep a knockoff purple thing in here. And I keep a pen. This is a pen blade. This is an actual cutting blade to open stuff. I don't know. You never know when you need a blade. I seem to need one all the time. And I prefer the pen blades. These are disposable blades that you can get from like Hobby Lobby or something like that. So that's everything that goes in this first pocket. I also keep a friction highlighter. When a pen just won't do, the highlighter will sometimes show up. Be careful using these though, because it can bleach some fabrics. So be careful. And I keep it in here just as you see it. I didn't do anything special. This is just what you see. And then in here, some of this stuff is just out of control. We have my wood pressing iron. It's my absolute favorite wood pressing iron. I use it all the time when I want to just open up seams before I press them. I have another friction pen that I use quite a bit. This one has this tip on it here. It works pretty well, pretty good. I really should just toss this out because I just don't use it now that I've discovered the Elmer's glue sticks work so much better. But this is my Sew Line glue stick. It works pretty good for gluing paper and fabric. Fabric to fabric, eh. Here is a regular pen. It has recently made its way in here. I've got a couple of them. This Sharpie pen, you can actually write on fabric with it because it's a Sharpie. It's permanent. This is a ballpoint pen. Sometimes when a friction pen won't do, a ballpoint pen will, but you want to be sure that you are marking that on the back side, something that nobody's going to see. My favorite point turner, this one here is by Clover. She stays in there. This is a disappearing ink marking pen. This is supposed to be a white marking pen. It doesn't work as good as I'd like it to, but I keep it in there also. This is my bodkin. I just used this the other day. I prefer this one because it has this opening here. And then it has that, then it clamps down on the back when you close it. And this really has a great tight hold. What else is in there? That's it. And then probably my favorite and most used tool is this OXO cleaning brush. Use it all the time, constantly clean out my sewing machine. I have a video on that. And then on the other side, I have this rubber tip that helps to get in those little areas where you can't get the brush. This brush is like a magnet. It's nylon. It doesn't get all gross when you have, when it touches oil, you can just wipe it off. Love this brush. It's my favorite brush to clean with. All right, here's a big one. Here's a bigger pocket, and in that pocket is a bunch of stuff. What's in the bottom? There's some things in the bottom. What's in there? Another clip there. And, oh, just a ball of fabric. Okay, let's toss that out. Another fabric marking pen. It's an erasable. This one's an erasable marker. This one here is another erasable marker. Some of these markers erase faster than others, which is interesting. My favorite scissors that I use all the time, they're my fabric scissors and more friction pens. I switch these out because sometimes they get a little bit, you know, the ink dries out and then you got to throw them away. So I keep a friction marker. I keep an actual Sharpie pen in here for what my Sharpie needs. Because like sometimes I like to write on the ruler and then you erase it with alcohol. Be careful to be sure to know what you're pulling when you're pulling. Here is a real purple thing. Yep, I've got a knockoff and a real one in there. Nail file. You guys, get you some of these nail files. You will see them at the conventions. You'll see the ladies who sell them. Get some. Just make sure it's the good ones because I bought some that are not great from the actual quilt store. But the woman who sold me these, I am in love with having a nail file in here. I seem to always need it. One of my favorite stilettos is the By Annie stiletto. I tell you guys it's different. I think it's because it's threaded right here that just makes it so much better. I keep that facing down in here so I don't hurt myself. And the pins and the scissors. And that's that. My favorite, all-time favorite rotary cutter stays in there. This is probably my most used ruler next to my 8.5 by 24 ruler by Quilter Select. This is my favorite Creative Grids ruler. I use it constantly. It sits right in here. Have to have it, otherwise I'm going to mess up something. These are my snips. I use them to cut when I wind my bobbin. I don't know why I use these. And also they come all the way to that super fine point, so you're able to get a good snip on them, and they're by Fiskars, and I can open them with one hand and then snip. I love them. I use them all the time. Jack, you knew he was in here somewhere. This is my seam ripper. I think the Clover one works better, but I like that this one has a cap on it and it's got that rubber ball in there so you can pull out the threads easier. I always keep a spare sewing piece of fabric in here, always. You know, sometimes you need a leader, an ender, or whatever. Here is one of those seam rippers that was given to me at a, you know, like as a gift in something. This one here is by Metler. It's always good to have a seam ripper. Somebody else might need one. You might not be able to find Jack because whatever reason. It happens. Apparently, I keep lots of them. I keep getting them at retreats. And so I just stack up on seam rippers, apparently. Didn't even know those were in there. Sometimes you need a Q-tip to clean something that you can't reach. This is a flare pen. Again, sometimes I like to mark on my rulers, and this is one of the pens that I use to do it. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why would you keep candy in there? And yes, candy is great. But these actually come from Candy's Quilt Works, which is one of my favorite stores that I'm always shopping in. And what she does is she puts these little 5-inch squares in the candy wrapper so that everybody's cats eat them. Somebody's always putting this in their mouth. I just had a cousin who tried to eat one because it was in the bottom of the bag. But I love these. This is what I use to test fabric. I love them, love them, love them. And you get a couple of them and I just collect them and keep a few of them in here so that when I need to test fabric, I always have some fabric scraps that are available, always. I love that she does that, and I love that that's my use for them. Some people make quilts out of them. Me, I just use them as test strips, which you always seem to kind of need when you're sewing. And that's everything that's in my sewing pad. I use the pattern. I believe this is a Missouri Star pattern. That's how I learned to do this. And I'm going to alter one and do it again. But this, I have to have it. I have to take this with me when I go sewing anywhere. I know that I'll have what I need. If I just have my sewing machine, my pedal, and this right here, I could probably make something happen. I can probably make it happen with this. This is such an important thing to have if you don't have a sewing pad. I think you should make one and try to use it and see how you like it, because there's something about it that just having everything right here, and you just know that you know that you know that these are your tools that you use all the time. I love it. And yes, I'm going to do another one that's just better made and probably a little cuter. Although this is a cutie patootie, it's just my skills are at a different level than they were when I originally made this, but it's got me through this far and I'm happy to have it. So you guys just got to look at the real deal sewing pad. Again, I'm going to do another one. I'll let you know when. Hopefully it'll be before the end of this year. At least one. All my sewing machines need one. We've got Io. She needs one. Prince Charming needs one. Walt Disney needs one. And then Darth Vader needs one. So I guess I've got a few of them to make. We'll see. All right, guys. That's going to be a wrap on this Notions for Notions video. I will catch you guys on the next one. All right. Bye-bye.